Good morning. Welcome to the Lord of the Lost podcast.
Yeah! Woohoo! Here we go. It's LordCast number 5. We're doing breakfast today. So if you're hearing like weird noises, like eating noise, these kind of noises, slurpy kind of stuff, whatever. Wait, let me move the mic a little. Okay. It's us having breakfast, and we invite all of you to have breakfast with us. So, if it's morning, wherever you are, hit pause right now, make yourself some breakfast, come back, and let's eat together.
It can be also the afternoon if you had a great night out and got drunk and whatever and just got up. So whenever you feel like...
No, we are in Germany. Breakfast is from 5 to 7 in the morning.
Okay, but
That's why it's 9 in the morning.
But brunch is also okay, I think.
Yeah.
Brunch is okay as well.
It's whatever you want, it's okay.
Yeah.
So, we have 3 topics today, but we don't know what actually, because it's a surprise. Every one of us, it's by the way, it's Chris, P,
Hello.
and Class today.
Yeah, moin.
So everyone's brought a topic. So maybe we start with
I don't know. With coffee, maybe.
with coffee.
Yeah,
Okay.
We have
I drink
3
water.
topics and Stadtland backstage. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Stadtland backstage game.
You know the thing about I tried to translate Stadtland Fluss. It's a German game where you like write down stuff. I tried to translate it, and I was looking up the internet and all like translation options you have. Like there is no translation. There are like discussions in like forums and stuff where teachers are actually discussing about how to translate this game, Stadt, Land, Fluss, which actually means city, land, river. And we call it Stadtland Backstage. So you'll see what it's about. So let's call it Stadtland Backstage. Now you learn some German.
Well, I would like to know, I don't know if there are any comment sections later on YouTube, right?
Yeah, no, on YouTube,
On
and
YouTube,
people can
on
also go on
Facebook.
Facebook.
So, would like to have international comments about if you have experience with that game or not, somehow, even outside of Germany. So, interesting.
So should we all like say the topics now and then decide which one goes first, or?
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay, what's your topic?
I have a more serious topic about racism and discrimination. That's my topic.
Okay.
In general, somehow.
No. Well, it's due to the recent events in America again. So
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good thing. What do you have?
I have a more lighthearted one.
Me too, because I felt like it's breakfast time and maybe we.
yeah, true.
I was thinking about, for example, a hobby that you may never did, but you always wanted to, or something that you did as a child or something and would love to catch up again. But probably, I mean, his main thing, like, of course, not having time or just doing other stuff, so that's why not. But something that burns on your heart that you would love to do or to do it again. But some kind of a fulfilled dream related to a hobby or something.
Okay, I have an even more lighthearted one. It's fanboy moments.
Oh, okay.
From us somehow.
Yeah, not like people coming to us wanting pictures, stuff like things that we experience as fanboys of other bands, like especially moments where we were trying to get an autograph, a picture, or things like that. So, because I think there might be some funny stories. And yeah, of course, then we play a round of like Stadtland Backstage in the end. Jared can't be here today, so and I think he has no time, but we can call up Nick again.
Yep, we should do that.
So which one do you want to start? Maybe we start with like the serious one, or you want to start with a funny one?
I think we should start for eating with a more lighthearted one because it's easier.
Then it's not then we do lighthearted.
Yeah, probably
serious
yes.
lighthearted.
Because the serious one leads to not eating so much anymore because we're so...
I'm hungry.
Then let's start with the hobby thing.
Okay.
So we have like 2 periods of eating and one of discussion.
Should I start?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Because I have to think about what I actually
Yeah.
want to pick up again.
The funny thing is, it's actually something I recently caught up. Can I say that? I started
Caught up with.
Caught up with.
Can you pass me the jellyfish, please?
The jellyfish.
There you go.
Sorry.
No, because as a kid, I wanted to play like games with miniatures. Like you have to create them first, like miniatures, like painting them. I don't know if I can say the
It's kind of like
Warhammer.
Like,
Warhammer. Yeah,
I said it.
Yeah.
what is it, like figures or what?
Yeah, it's like Warhammer. I think it's the origin of all these Warcraft games somehow. Mm-hmm. Like
Are these like
tiny figures. It's like the figures are big as a regular thumb.
Oh yeah,
somehow.
with like weapons and stuff. And
Yeah, and like I wanted to have the 40k version, like in the future. Like you have the Space Marines thingy, and you have like troops of 5, and depending on the army as big you want it, you have like
okay, I just realized I had no childhood.
yeah 50 figures,
different one.
50 figures
My
on the
neighbor
map
had
of your troops, and the other can have like some kind of aliens or Chaos Marines, whatever. And I started with it like being 12 or so to get the core box and trying to paint everything, and I liked it as
You
well.
have to paint all these things.
Yeah, they're like plastic. You have to assemble it like all these, like a plane or whatever. You can also, but it's just like each figure has like
That's cool.
six pieces to put in, and you can also choose which kind of hand you want, or the weapon they hold, or the way they hold it, whatever. And the fun is like painting it the way probably you like it, or you can just repeat stuff. But the fun of painting is amazing, I think. I also did models like of airplanes and
I'd
stuff.
end up with a pink army, I think.
Yeah. And I painted my army, but also wanted to play that game because I also like to play board games. But when I finished it, there was nobody else having the game, or nobody wanted to, or we did something else like going out, skateboarding, whatever. So yeah, but I always had the urge, like every once in a year I bought the so-called Warhammer magazine. It's like miniature nerd porn because they show armies in high quality photographies and super well painted, like amazingly shown. And it's really like porn. You say, oh fuck, they look so good, and all these shiny elements and all these shadows on the ways they used colors and stuff.
I remember friends of mine having like little, like looking like real, like Soldaten.
Soldiers.
Soldiers and tanks and blah blah. And they were all like this tiny, like 1 inch high or something, like building huge armies. I remember that friends of mine having.
Yeah. Could be that it was Warhammer, or they're different kind of brands as well.
Warhammer still exists, the game.
Right.
People still play it, and I don't know if they're at the Holzenstraße, this nerd shop. I don't know if it still exists
Oh,
or not.
that's great. Mika, was ist der Name von dem dem Spieleladen?
An der
Und
Holzenstraße.
Spielefender?
Ja, Olli's Spielecenter.
Could be that.
And Holzenstraße, yeah.
It's like the shop for nerds that are into those kind of tabletop games.
Yeah. You go there and you feel like you're in like that Big Bang Theory shop. Yeah, it's Olli's Spielecenter at Holzenstraße.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's great. And now coming, sorry,
Yeah.
because there's a second half of my story.
Yeah, okay.
But no,
You can finish it in a minute. But you would have been great friends with my childhood neighbor, because he had a lot of Warhammer stuff, and I never understood the game actually. He didn't know how to play it, but he just
really?
built them, painted them, and then set them up as troops, and was like,
Oh, you can actually play a game.
yeah, there's rules
Yeah.
and tournaments and stuff. So it's
Right,
like
right.
the pre era of esports. I don't know.
Yeah, somehow,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
in some way. I still exist. You could still play tournaments, class.
I know. That leads to my second part of the story.
You're champion.
I mean, somehow you have like, if you every 5 guys, like this is a special troop, have points, and you can say like my army has like 2,000 points, and then whatever you own, whatever you painted, whatever you spend tons of money off, you can just assemble your army with an amount of points, and your opponent does the same. And then you have like a sword stock, but an inch or something, and then every troop can go some way and like shoot and stuff, and then you have to play with dices, how they shoot and how good they fight, and in the end the last wins or something. But I thought like, okay, I wanted to do it again. So cool. And the funny thing is, I just found a person in my girlfriend that also loves to paint shit, like painting, real painting, but also likes figures and stuff. So I didn't want to lose all my money on Warhammer. So I just found a game. It's called Blood Rage, like with 20 miniatures, and it's a complete game. And so I'm actually painting it. I mean, I'm a bit disillusioned because like painting is quite something that needs a lot of experience and stuff. But it's all my figures look already nice.
So you have some.
Yeah, I just bought one board game that is small, and in the last days I just started painting like I did as a child, and it's such a nice feeling to just sit there, spending 1.5 hours just to paint one single figure. And
I'm not laughing about you. I'm just imagining me, like I'd go crazy.
yeah,
I do things like that. When I was painting the stuff for Thornstar, I loved it.
yeah,
For hours.
right.
But like going painting a little figure, I totally get it. But with a little figure, for me, I would be like, when will this be ready? Finally, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so,
The little figure becomes bigger and bigger with every inch you
right.
paint.
It gets like a blob.
but don't get me wrong, it's just like
No. But it's really nice. I mean, sometimes it's a bit frustrating as well because you just want to do the details. It's like super small, and then you a bit too much, and then you brush not only the diamond that he has on his left finger,
oopsie.
index finger, also the whole finger. It's like but it's super cool. I mean, it's a bit like a childhood dream that I hooked up again. That's pretty nice.
Can you pass the tomatoes to me?
And it's the first time since this is a small, complete game. It will be ready and I will play it. So that's nice. Blood Rage about Vikings with great miniatures. Yeah, that's somehow the hobby that I wanted to do for the last 15, 20 years. Never did.
And now you do it.
Finally, I just thought like, okay, this is a tiny version of the whole universe that people usually do with Warhammer 40k, and literally those people get broke by buying those figures because like
How expensive are they? Like if you buy one?
like the regular 5 troop figures are like 40 euros.
What?
Small,
Yeah,
small soldiers.
yeah. One is like 10 euro, and you have.
I'm
like,
already when I'm buying Lego, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, somehow if you have a big army, you spend at least, I think, around 1,000 euros if you have these super tournament armies. And then I mean, they're quick with painting, but you have to paint all the...
And you have to buy the paint.
And the paint is also quite expensive. So
brushes and
one
everything.
paint is also like, I think if you have a whole painting shit, like the cheapest complete set is like 100 euros, but then those dudes have like then 300 euros of paint. And
Okay, so we know what to give Class for his next birthday.
Yeah. Warhammer 40k. The
Yeah.
complete set.
But I really found out that there are nice games, Kickstarter and stuff, games with amazing miniatures away from Warhammer 40k, but they're complete game systems. So you can just play a game like Settler of Catan, or Catan, it's actually called. And so you don't have to lose yourself in it, you know? There's a start and a specific end. And you know, like, this is ready, but you can play it, but it's done this way.
But do you also want to play it? Or do you just
I want to play it.
paint?
And the good thing is it's some kind of an easy game that you can just also tell people to do. It's not like, okay, we have to spend a weekend to get all the rules and stuff. So you can just say like, okay, 30 minutes of the rules, let's just play. So I can also invite you just playing board games if somebody's interested in playing a board game beside Catan or something.
Yeah, not really my kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
I lost it also for more than 10 years, but when we played Catan on New Year's Eve, that was quite fun.
We played it for 5 hours or so.
Really? So long?
4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
I was home at 6 in the morning because we played it.
But we were 4 players, so
True.
It took some time to round up the one. But it was really nice. Yeah. Sorry, that was my part of the topic.
and there was the LordCast for today.
Yeah.
Bye!
2 hours.
So, you want to go next? With the hobby?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's also okay. I can imagine that somehow some people just do whatever they thought they can do and have no need for other hobbies, for example. But
Yeah.
No,
I was just reminded of this hobby yesterday because I was at the gym because gyms have reopened here in Hamburg. It was empty and no one was there, and every second piece of equipment was closed. But I was at the gym, and one of the trainers told me, that sounds weird saying it. Oh, but you're very flexible because because I was stretching. And I told him, yeah, that's because I did karate when I was younger, from 11 to 16 or 10 to 16 years old. And the past years here in Hamburg, I always wondered if I'd ever do it again, if I can do it again here in Hamburg, because martial arts is very expensive, and to have all the equipment and to actually train like 4 days a week with fixed training sessions, you have to have time for it. I don't really have time.
Yeah, that's the main problem. Like,
That's the main problem. Time.
It's always like fixed dates and
Yeah.
times.
The financial aspect isn't a problem anymore, but yeah, time. But that's something that I'd really like to do again, martial arts in general. It does not have to be karate or whatever. But when I was younger, it was the perfect thing for me because when I started, a very insecure and shy person. And learning how to control my body to get control over it, to, I don't know, have the discipline. That was so important to me that I think that had a big impact on me when I grew up, when I hit puberty and everything.
Oh, you already did that?
No. Well, I hit it, but I'm still in it. And I don't know, it was always the highlight of my week to go to karate training. And I actually wasn't too bad at it. It was like 6 years of training. I had the brown belt, so so I didn't get the black belt because my trainers changed school, so they left my karate school.
I took all the black belts with them.
Yeah. And since I wasn't able to go there by myself, by car or whatever, because I was too young, and it was like 2 hours by bus or so. I know it was just too far away, so I stopped, and I didn't want to go to other trainers because those were my trainers.
I totally get this. You remember when we started like boxing like 2 years ago to go back into martial arts, and I really missed that. I kind of had to stop because of when my finger got hurt in October, November 2018 already.
18 now.
And for now, I mean it's better, but I can't really bend it, and it always hurts when I'm in like a boxing glove. And even if like the right hand is not my strong hand, So not my main hand, and what's the words in English? Like
The guided?
The jab hand and the punching hand.
yeah. So this my punching hand is the left, so it's not that big a problem. But when I do a jab, like it always like hurts.
Yeah.
So and it just sucks ass. So this is why I'm still thinking about like the same thing, like restarting boxing now because I had to stop now for quite a while. But I really don't know. Okay, Classy, open it.
That was the zipper of his pants.
But what I've just what I'm just thinking about. My son Mika is just he got a stunt scooter and now is exploring all these skating parks with like trying out like half pipe and ramps and really like getting into it and getting better every day. So I'm like nearly every day we're at one of these skate parks, especially now in these Corona times because there's like only school once a week and the rest of the week we're spending lots of time. So I was like a passionate inline skater in the 90s and I was quite good. I did all this stunt shit as well. Like I was more like a street rider, not really like half pipe. I did that a couple of times, but it wasn't really my thing. It was more like grinding on curbs and rails and all this shit. And I'm always sitting there watching my son, and I'm like, oh, maybe I get some new inline skates because I just broke my old ones like last year. But I'm like, okay, I just turned 40. I really don't know if I want to get into this because when I do, I really have to do the right way because I can't do it just like 10%. I really want to do all the shit again, and I'm really afraid of like breaking my fingers, my wrists or whatever. So I'm always sitting there struggling with myself. Should I restart this?
Yep.
Or not? So I really don't know, you know, because I don't want to get like a new pair of like inline skates, just like some inline skates. If I do it, I want good ones, like which are like for stunt driving, for all this kind of stuff, and then I want to do it again, and I know I'd probably kill myself.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, killing yourself. But yeah, well, when you're young and reckless, basically, and you don't have like the job that would fall away when you get hurt, or you can't, I don't know, support your family with being mobile and stuff. You can do it more easily. You don't have to think about it that much. But now, I get it.
The thing is, back then I really like did it hardcore between the age of 14 to 18, like 5 summers in a row. And I never really hurt myself. I always had like protection and stuff, but I never really hurt myself. And then one day, on the schoolyard, actually on a meadow, it was just a little rainy.
Yeah.
And I was just like running to some friends.
Yeah.
I was just slipping and broke my arm.
Yeah, cool. Oh no.
So I broke my arm like on the schoolyard by just falling. And actually in the afternoon every day I was like jumping down like 10-meter stairs. Well, nothing happened. Yeah, that was weird. So, but maybe we go to the serious part.
Sure, if we don't have any hobbies anymore that we want to talk about, I don't know.
I think it's good. Everybody won.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I really thought about talking about it because it's the same thing with the tolerance thing we did like the last.
Yeah, right now people, it's 3 white guys talking about racism against mainly black people at the moment. Yeah. So I mean it's a general topic. So if we say anything wrong, it's just because we don't know all of it. We don't know. And we've grown up like in a rich country being white people. So please don't be mad at us if we say things that might upset you. It's not meant that way because you can be sure whatever we say it's 100% pro you and against racism.
True, that is true. And I mean, I started actually really looking into that whole subject with recent events in America, with the killing of first. I mean, what first? There have been thousands and thousands of black people killed over the last centuries.
I've seen that you got really like into it by this one comment you just did on a lot of Lost Facebook to one fan reacting in a very weird way. Actually,
right. There was a comment to touch on that. There was a comment denying white privilege, basically, and that racism is basically, or the Black Lives Matter movement is just, I just say the term that person said, white genocide. It's just a concept to give all the privileges we have to the black people so they can erase us from the earth. Basically, that was her message. Or his message.
Because they're bad.
oh boy.
Yeah. And you can read it all on Facebook on our Blackout Tuesday post. But I basically explained to her the subject of white privilege and everything. And I don't want to explain it now because I think it's all our duty to educate ourselves about that, because we live in a society that is prone to just taking this state of white privilege for granted, I think, and we just acknowledge the fact that it is like it is, and we didn't question it at all. And I found a quote of Will Smith. He talking about the whole racism thing. He said racism, I think he said it that way, racism isn't just happening right now, it's just being filmed now. And that's the nail on the head, I think, because it happened, 400 years of slavery, come on, and all those cases after that didn't really got touched on by the media worldwide, but only by the media in America.
Yeah, 10, 20 years ago, if you witnessed something on the street like what just happened to George Floyd, you couldn't have just filmed it with a device being in your pocket all the time anyway and just upload it.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's a very delicate topic, and now people can be the reporters themselves. And on Instagram, I think there's never been a more productive time for me on Instagram than this right now, because I'm always on the screen basically on Instagram, but right now I'm actually learning something.
Yeah.
And can read about stuff that maybe white people can do to not be passively racist or...
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all good. I wrote down some notes, so I have to look into this, because as we said, we're not really educated about it now, and we might be wrong. So there are some things I want to touch on, like, for example, I thought about that whole white privilege thing and people not having the equal chances in growing up and, I don't know, getting a job, getting a loan for a house, getting like good education and stuff. Because when I was at school in geography class, I think it was geography class or politics, our teacher asked us what we think about the fact or the statement that all people have equal chances here in Germany. If everyone born in Germany has the same chances of said things like being treated well, having good education, getting a job, getting a loan at the bank, like credit for a house or something. And I remember that the discussion ended up in agreement of our teacher saying, yes, we all have the same chances. And me being, 14 or 15, I believed that. Because, we had the discussion, I was like, I don't know if everyone has the same chances, but the whole discussion went on. I was very silent during that discussion, but was listening and just accepted the fact that they were saying, yeah, we all have the same chances. But I thought about it yesterday again. That came to my mind that there was that situation in school. And yesterday I watched a video from a black football player. And he touched on that same topic. He was like, yeah, you know why we don't have the same chances? It's like, or he was putting out an example. It's like when you run a marathon and for the first, 200 meters or so, everyone starts, but the people of our color are being pulled back. So we have to run with more resistance. So we're slower because we're being pulled back for years and years. And then, like, after those first 200 meters, they let us free. And then it's like, yeah, we have the same chances, but we get pulled back for a certain amount of time. So no, we don't have the same chances. We actually have to fight harder to get to the same goal. Which is quite the easy example to touch on all that white privilege stuff. And why people of color are not having the same chances. And I don't know, I wanted to ask you if you had like moments in your lives that you can remember where you actually realized that might be not the case, that we're all equal.
Yeah, I have some things to say here. Actually, I try to. There were just like so many thoughts flashing through my mind. I try to keep them all together. About same chances. Let's talk about this or let me say something about this in a more general term, not about just black skin color. Mm-hmm. This, we all have the same chances thing. It's a nice thing to say by a person like, I don't know, Paris Hilton, stop being poor, we all have the same chances. It's a nice phrase to say on TV, like, hey, believe in yourself, blah, blah, blah. I always see like those super beautiful Barbie doll Instagram models talking about you just have to believe in yourself to blah blah blah, where I'm like, hey, it's not true that we all have the same chances. Let's face it, like if you're very beautiful, it's
by birth somehow.
By birth,
Yeah,
just like that. And if you go like to a job interview, it's super obvious that your chances are much higher than for something which is not looking good at all. Because whatever we do, we're just humans. This first impression of like a beautiful girl or boy, whatever, coming, like it's like woo, it's just like of course, people in the end, people fall in love with the heart. But what's happening at first sight is, in most cases, it's something like that. Mm-hmm. So, and this also goes for skin color. So if you're like raised in a country where skin color or every other racism problem, it's not just about black people, it's about like wherever you go in the world, there's always like problems with migration, people from other countries, long-term histories behind these things. Yep. So wherever you go, maybe in America it's mainly like black racism. If you go to another country, it might be a total different racism. So, but if you grow up somewhere, and if you're part of that minority, especially maybe in a city where the majority still kind of thinks about you in a bad way because you've just been raised like that, and it's not maybe even your fault, maybe just the parents' fault because they just fucked up education. Mm-hmm. Of course, your chances are not the same. Same thing for disabled people. Like, you believe in yourself. Of course, believing in yourself can do so many things, but I don't think like that all our chances are equal. Right. And I had this discussion at a kind of young age, and this brings us back to the topic we just had last time about gay people, because one of my friends when I was like 17 to maybe 22, 23, 4, now he lives in Berlin and we kind of lost contact, was a friend of mine called Daniel. He is a US black male and gay. Oh. And he came here when he was like, I don't know, 12 or something. I don't remember the reason. And he became a singer and a musical dancer, musical actor, actually. pretty typical, like for talking about stereotypes, like for a black, gay guy. He was a brilliant singer, brilliant
The Lion
dancer,
King,
like,
basically.
yeah, totally, like looking good and stuff. And I actually had my first discussions about these kind of topics, about like being treated in a racist way when you're like either a black person in a kind of open city like Hamburg and a gay person. And like revealing both at the same time. I mean, you don't have to reveal that you're black, people see that, but then also revealing that you're gay, like 20 years ago, caused them lots of problems.
It's like digging your grave a little deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of crazy. And what just happens now, and I was really shocked about that when we posted this Blackout Tuesday thing and with this hashtag Black Lives Matter. Of course, I know that people don't have to tell me that all lives matter. Black lives matter, white lives matter, red lives matter, yellow lives, brown, whatever you call it. Hamsters' life matter as well. But in this case, there was a black person killed by a cop and not like a Chinese guy. So if you go like, this needs to be all lives matter, what do you do? If I post fuck cancer, what do you say? Hey, AIDS is bad as well. Don't forget AIDS. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Or what? And this kind of really stirred me up because I got messages, like mainly like in my spam folder, which is being checked like once a week, by people sending me these things and also sending me videos where white guys are beaten up by black guys, like one white guy beaten up by like 3-4 black guys, and then asking me, so what do you think about this kind of violence then? Yeah, you know, guys, I'm totally aware of that there are like assholes of every skin color. And some of these assholes are not even assholes by birth, as I just said. If you are like
No one is an asshole by birth.
Yeah, no one. Like there is no asshole child, you know?
Right.
And apart from that, maybe so much violence is happening because of so many reasons. And I really don't get it. What should these videos tell me?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's black people, violent black people, violence against white people by black people. Yeah, I know that. But in this case, something really peculiar happened here. I don't think I need to explain the George Floyd situation here.
And it was violence by police, by official people that
and in this case, you protest against this. If it's not allowed today to protest against one thing, what should I do? Go on the street like, I protest against everything.
Yeah, true.
So because we all matter, it doesn't help anyone. So
There's this cool example that a girl did on Instagram. She's just, I don't know, she was just having like a small Instagram account with like a few hundred followers. And she did this video about comparing this All Lives Matter thing with burning houses. And she acted like in two roles. It was her and like a different girl she was playing as well. It was like, yeah, my house is burning. Okay, I get my fire, my water hose, but let me water my house first because all houses matter. Yeah, but my house is burning. Yeah, but why should I? I mean, there's also my house. Why should I hose your house with my water? That's also my house. That should be watered then as well because all houses matter.
yeah,
And I go, yep, true.
yeah, that's a good point actually.
So, yes, it's not even a question that all lives matter, but please refrain from being so entitled about that and be like, all lives matter, I matter as well. Yes, you do. But in this case, people are being killed over just their skin color.
Yeah, and apart from that, don't get us wrong. You know, we're sitting here having breakfast, we're fine, and we're talking about racism. We don't even know how it feels to be treated that way. But
Right.
I think it's important to talk about things that we experience do these mails we get, do comments, to kind of open people's eyes, because we have we have so much power because we have like thousands of followers, and I think saying the right thing, maybe opening some eyes for people that didn't see things that way, is a good thing.
Right.
And an important thing. And I also have like black colored friends here. What do you say actually? Black colored, black skin colored,
Black friends, actually the term.
Yeah, because
I like is,
I'm really not sure what's correct here or not, because whenever you say something like
yeah, right, but we
we
disclaim that we can be wrong, so
okay, let's say just I have also like black friends here in Hamburg, two guys of one of the band that I was just producing are black. There's another hip-hop band that I've been producing for years where one of them is black, and they're like living in a really like problem area in Hamburg. And I know many stories about discrimination from them also. In a city like Hamburg, even in a district like St. Pauli, here where we live here, which is a like super left, open, politically open kind of part of the town. So, but even here it happens.
Right, and then people might ask, yeah, but that has to be. That's an example that, I don't know, people of color live in like poorer spaces of town. Yes, because that's due to systemic racism. It's not because they're bad. I encourage everyone listening to look into systemic racism and the difference to individual racism. Because me, in my position right now, I can't really put it into words that would be correct, I think, but
yeah, this is super hard, especially
it's super hard.
Please, guys, remember
it's super hard.
We're just doing this discussion in a language we don't really know.
Right. So it's super hard, and it's
still a barrier.
There's such a big topic. So I just can say, I encourage everyone listening to educating yourself about racism in all forms and shapes and colors, because even though we might not be able to feel what a person that is being treated in a racist way, we can still speak up about it, because and I think this quote is true, there's this quote, if you remain silent, you have chosen the side of the oppressor, and I think that's very true. So please educate yourself and speak up about it.
And I have one funny story here about like misunderstandings concerning the word black and actually black people and black music.
Yeah,
There was it was my first time maybe in Hamburg at a party called Return of the Living Dead at a place called Markthalle, where we played a lot, which was one of the three big goth underground dark music parties. And actually it reminds me of maybe the only like black colored goth guy I met back then. He came from America. He was a crazy person. I liked him. Okay, but that's another story. Yeah, I was at that party. I was maybe 18 or 19, 20, I don't know. And there were like two black guys coming in, and with like hip hop clothing, like and 90s, right? Baggy pants and Lakers shirt, and one had like dreads, the other one was bald or something. And they were like, "What up? What's happening here? We thought it's dark music." Like, yeah, it's dark music. And the funny thing, they stayed.
Oh, nice.
And they liked it. It was a very cool evening. They thought it would be a black music thing. Like half a year later, the same thing happened to me at the place called Große Freiheit. 36 actually plays here in St. Pauli, where we also play. They're doing another big party called Schwarze Nacht, Black Night, which I kind of mixed up with a black music party. So, and I looked at the newspaper. Yeah, back then you looked in the newspaper, like what kind of parties are going on. I looked at the newspaper like, oh, it's Black Music Night. So I went there, ended up on some kind of R&B, hip-hop kind of party with my goth outfit. But I stayed, and we also had a great night. So this about like misunderstandings concerning dark and black and black music. So for so many moments, I thought it would be so funny to like go on our Instagram or Facebook profile and say Lord of Lost, black music from Germany. But this would kind of offend people. But for some moments, I'm like, oh dear, if we'd live like in a perfect world, this joke would be so funny.
Yeah.
These are my 50 cent.
Right.
Got that?
Yeah.
My ideas, or when I think about it, I mean, I think the easiest way for this topic is like, whoever you just caught as a policeman, you have no right to give him pain.
True.
You know, that's easy, I think, and I think that's you can just.
You just don't hurt someone like that.
That's easy. Probably it's not as easy in the United States because policemen might think, okay, he's black. Probably they're more gang members, black people, like white people, and everybody can just to understand the policeman. And the problem is like everybody can have a gun, but the problem is if you're raised like having being afraid of black people, that's really bad. And I think,
and then there's a vicious circle of prejudice.
yeah, right. But anyway, don't kill anybody. Whatever he's like, if he's tall, if he's having a gun in his hand, you should. But not even then. If you nail him down, that's fine. Then he's not. But about like daily racism, I mean, actually, I can just see what I live here in my area because I can see something in the news, but I'm not living there. Somehow, I always feel like I can say that is wrong, that nobody should be killed or treated bad. But I wonder. I was just walking around and. How should I feel or think? For example, especially in my area, you can buy drugs. That's completely fine for me because, for example, if it's about weed, I think it's as good or as bad as alcohol. I think it's even the better drug. But of course, so since there is a need to have these drugs, there are people selling that, and in that moment, the salesperson are in that case are all black, for example, and for me, I don't see them as more bad people as other people would sell drugs or something like that. I just thought like for the police, it's way easier to just see who's selling drugs right now, because they're just like. They have their organization and stuff, but what should I think? Is it like okay? Is it a bit like okay? Since in the hospital, like the nurses, as the name says it, mostly women. So in the end, are those people like better in selling drugs, or is it just because some started it and it became some kind of a family business, and since they are like. Is it suppressed or living in their area because we don't want them? They just stay black people because they can trust each other more than they can trust a white guy because they are victims of racism, you know, so that they stay among each other. For me, they're just like, okay, I don't mind as long as they don't force me to buy drugs, whoever that is, I don't mind. If they just, I'm not interested, so they don't get so strong in contact with me. If I say no, I don't need drugs, then everything's fine. But I mean, I think it's not the problem that it's me. I think they're like other people seeing, oh, they're only the black people selling drugs. They're the bad people. You know what I mean? Yeah, so right. I'm thinking, okay, who's producing the bad image just in this tiny space? I'm not talking about the world. I'm just like there are black people selling drugs. So as a normal Hamburg citizen, I would just easily think, okay, drugs, black people. You know what I mean?
in that area.
In that area,
It's so obvious, yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Sure, I
so
understand
I was
that.
just thinking how to deal with it the right way. I'm not really talking about me because I can imagine why they are the ones selling drugs because somehow they don't have so much other things to do.
they have no opportunities,
It is
and
easy.
they are being ghettoed out.
Yeah, right.
So
They have no opportunities. And there we are again. I mean, it's not like they have like the opportunity to go to good university without any problems, but they choose to sell drugs.
I mean,
I can't imagine that. so-
I'm thinking they probably have better chances here to have a job, or at least some kind of a. And of course, there's then the thing: are there like people from here? Are they immigrants? And the thing is, probably they are attracted by those guys because those guys obviously having a good time. Being there selling drugs, and even if there's police, there are new people coming or other people. If they get in prison for 2 days, there's still enough people selling that. And let's say I have no idea. I just always try to see. Okay, it's not because they're black. It's just because probably they don't have so many chances, and since it's also easier for them to trust their colleagues of black people having
Right.
the same kind of problems somehow. There's more like family bond, like trusting each other because
Sure.
this is crime. I mean, I know this is some kind of a vicious circle and it's not caused because they're black. Somehow in other countries there could be also in the Chinese area or some Chinese people or even white people selling the drugs in South Africa for white supremacy or whatever. I don't know.
True.
Just like how could I fix this problem, or if it's a problem, or how should I think about it? Because I think the majority of people don't think; they just see, oh, the black one's selling
Right,
drugs.
and those are the people who should educate themselves the most, and they're urgent. It's urgent that they.
But the problem is that the most people don't want to educate themselves. It's easier to just have an easy solution, you know, like
right, and then again, there we are. At
I know.
like we have to speak up about everything, even though we're not fall
Yeah.
victim to those.
you know the thing is this goes in like so many directions. If you're like a tourist and you end up in that area of St. Pauli, I know that these like 3-4 corners where
and
like,
it's a nice area. It's not a bad one.
Yeah.
these 3-4 corners where like mostly black people are selling drugs, and you don't know that. You go there and you're like, oh, if you're stupid enough, you're like, oh, all black people are drug dealers.
Sure.
If you're a tourist and go to whatever city, maybe where just a couple of months ago, so many problems with like right-wing activists. Let's call
them activists.
Let's say Nazis, or let's say right-wing.
In our case, it's Nazis
extremists.
somehow.
Where all these things happen, and you're a tourist and you go there and you see that, you're like, oh, wow, this city is a Nazi city. You know, it's always
Sure.
so many things just happen because of snapshots, and people would never go like, oh, there's black people selling drugs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like they do not have any other chances to give money to their families.
Right.
So and
Because they don't want to work.
yeah,
A real job, yeah.
yeah. So they go like, oh, it's black people. Oh, it's what they do.
It's the same
So,
same
and
thing
that's
with
the problem.
seeing. Sorry, it's the same thing with seeing only highlights on Instagram of people and then thinking, oh, they must have the best life ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like you said. It's just snapshots.
It's like when I read like this super weird who is dating Chris Harms website thing, and there's like my net income is like estimated about $100,000 to $1 million per year, being fact checked by experts. Yeah. This is also a snapshot.
It is, yeah.
So you can see how extremely violent, how extremely dangerous these snapshots are, and also what's happening if we see like just right now violence against black people and stuff. Some of these things also might be just snapshots, but I'm super happy that we're living in a world where actually like everyone can be like a reporter.
Right.
And it's also possible to spread these kind of things, to open the eyes for other people out there. So Yeah, I'm totally up for like having people not liking us anymore because we're standing up for these things. Because for me, and this will be my last words to this topic now, it was so sad and idiotic at the same time when we did this blackout Tuesday post on Facebook. Within like 2 or 3 hours we lost like 20-30 likes on the site.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck those likes, fuck those people then. But isn't that crazy?
It is.
That you like a band and then they stand up for like black people not being killed by police violence, and then you like
So
dislike your band on your social network. Fuck you.
Right.
Dude.
Same here. Since I'm posting all that educational stuff on Instagram, I'm constantly losing followers every day, and I'm like, good. But you're the ones who should see it the most. And those are my, and also the people
That's the sad thing, actually.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And also those are my last words. The people that are saying you are musicians, you shouldn't be political about stuff. And I got a lot of those messages, and I read those messages on other musicians' profiles who are speaking up, and we desperately need to speak up about that stuff, because we have more outreach than, I don't know, Karl-Heinz from I don't know, Munich, who doesn't even have social media. So
isn't it crazy that like if you're a baker or a salesperson or whatever, you can have like a political you can like post a political statement, but if you choose to be a musician, you have to shut up and fucking play your songs.
Right, you're just an entertainer. You're a jukebox. You shouldn't speak up about politics. So I disagree. I just disagree, and those are my last words.
Same here.
Yeah. I think it's a big problem because it's in the core of our society. So I think just to say police people shouldn't kill anybody is just like having one fire off the burning forest somehow. Because in the end, if there's always weapons, talking about the United States, weapons for everybody, and I think everybody wants to keep its money and wants to keep it in the family and wants to keep it in the business and wants maybe also keep it in the people that you employ. It always stays as close around you as possible. You want to do good things, but you're not about spread it everywhere. There will be always people left out of it, and I think it's the easiest way to think black people, because they have their gangs, they have their families, they have their ways where they live, so they're separated, so we don't have to think about it. That's a big problem, that we never really think about society, and everybody wants the maximum for himself, and this is so deep in society. It's always about like, hey, you're only cool if you make it. And I think usually to make it means to only put all the energy into yourself. Otherwise you can't make it on the top. Because on the top is like a tiny place and you have to leave everybody behind. And that's the thing. And I had something else. Fuck. I had something that I wanted to say, except that was way more important.
We make a PPE pause now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's hard to say. I mean, yeah.
You lost your train of thought.
A bit, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's also kind of being... I wanted to say like also raising the word. I mean, the problem is, since there is a president also in the United States of America that is using his mighty word in the worst way in those social media, you have to make it right in the same way, but probably with profounded information. Is it right?
Yeah.
Like, and also raise the word and about your opinion, because somehow Donald Trump only has opinions. He doesn't have facts, or he sells his opinions as facts.
Yeah.
So.
Or he's like picking up the opinions from Fox News, which is posting his opinions, and then you go in circles.
So everybody has to get up, because Trump is like 1,000, the number 1,000, and we have to be like 100,000 voices to be as heavy as his voice somehow. So he's a weapon of information mass destruction. Misinformation, and we have to be way more people, because what he says is right, and we need like a million times more the right info to be at the same truth.
I love the fact actually that Twitter just started to fact check his posts. And recently, just yesterday, they for the first time they deleted one of his videos because he did there was some right infringement, I don't know, like because he used some pictures, music or whatever.
Yep.
So they just deleted the video, which is totally normal because like the rules are for everyone.
Right.
So also for the president, because the Twitter profile is Twitter profile. Right. So I kind of like that.
Right. But that guy forces everybody to stand up and get informed and tell the truth. So we can't do differently than this.
So talking about rock stars, like Donald Trump, maybe we should...
He is a rock star.
If you're finished with the racism topic for now...
I'm finished. It never ends, that's the problem.
It never ends.
This is why I say
for now.
That's why I say for now.
Yeah, I've started eating again, so...
Yeah. Okay, then let's do the second round of eating and like fanboy moments.
Like we had.
You had with bands, artists, I don't know, actors, whatever, porn stars you're a fan of. I can start if you want, because I have 3 stories I want to tell.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Please. I have.
Maybe let's start with like my first fanboy moment. It was October 24th in 1994, my first concert ever. I went there with my first girlfriend ever. Was Roxette. And after the show, of course, at the Sporthalle in Hamburg, we've been waiting outside at some kind of backstage entry. And we were lucky enough to get the bass player and one of the drummers they had, which is in fact more like live band musicians.
One of the drummers?
Yeah, they had 2 drummers. So this is why back then I said, like, if I have a band, I want 2 drummers. So this is actually one of the main reasons why we have also Jared drumming, because I saw that and was just brilliant. They had 2 drummers. So, but for us it was like, it wasn't Marie or Per, you know, like the Roxette duo. So we were like, okay. Half a year, 1 year later or something, 1995, they came back to a big interview at the radio station in Hamburg, Radio Hamburg, to promote their best of record. And we went there and we finally get the autograph. And I also have like a very unfocused picture with Per Gessle of Roxette, which I just don't find anymore. So I have my autographs in my CD, and just a couple weeks or months ago for some Throwback Friday posts or whatever, I was looking for that picture and I couldn't find it. I was annoying my parents, which are like still like gluing pictures in albums, you know, like having like tons of these things, and asked them like, could you please look for that picture? I didn't find it. So, but this was my first like and maybe most important fanboy moment, and since that day every couple of weeks I'm writing a mail to the management of Per Gessle of Roxette, asking him if he could ever write a song for Lord of the Lost. Maybe one day I get an answer.
That would be nice.
So that's my first fanboy moment. I have 2 other stories.
Okay. Do you want to go?
Just found something in my head
Oh, piece of candy.
No, I
piece of
think
candy.
I never had so much like fanboy moments so intense somehow. But just one thing that was really cool, but it was more like the everything around this person as well, was when Tony Hawk and another team member, I think of the Birdhouse brand, were
I love that band.
brand.
Tony Hawk, great singer.
Yeah, yeah, right.
No, for you guys out there, it was a skateboarder.
Yeah, Tony Hawk. I mean,
Yeah.
The first person to complete the 900.
yeah, probably everybody knows him because
Yeah.
he's the most famous skateboarder of all time.
Yeah.
Having the Tony Hawk Skater games as well, Pro Skater games. Sorry. And we're on tour. I think it was Birdhouse brand, and he and his guy, I forgot his name, but he was also quite a famous dude. And they were going through Hamburg, followed by like, I don't know, 100 skateboarder kids and stuff like that. And it was so cool. And I also got a picture with Tony Hawk and also lost this picture.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that you ever met Tony Hawk.
Yeah, I did.
Oh!
That was so cool. And
Hockey
we were,
loves you even more.
and we were skating. I mean, I was not so good. I was more watching the people. But like Kunsthalle, like the art exhibition hall in Hamburg.
I've been skating there as well. That was great.
And there's like the flat top roof of the exhibition as well. It's really like flat and nothing on it. And also on the side, walls that are not right up in the sky, they're but like
45 degree.
45 degree.
Yeah.
So of course the Tony Hawk dude and his friends were like skating these walls, doing nice tricks onto it and jumping off it and stuff. And every other kids were like skating on top of the art hall. And so they also had to call the people in the art hall had to call the police because they were like everywhere because jumping kids and this loud skateboard wheels and shit. But that was cool to be part of that traveling community in Hamburg City, and of course led by Tony Hawk. And it was a great community with a star among us, and everybody could do a picture with Tony Hawk, and it was so amazing. I mean, it's also already 25 years ago, and I think 25 years ago Tony Hawk was peak on his
probably was, yeah.
career, and that was for me like wow. I think it was even, I don't know if it was around the time of Tony Hawk Pro Skater or right before Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Right before.
Yeah, but that was really cool to meet Tony Hawk. The funny thing is, from this day with the same camera, I still got the picture because right after I went to my grandmother, and me in my cool skater clothes that day, sitting right next to my grandma in my arm, and thumbs up. And this picture, I mean, in the end, it counts more for me because it's, my grandmother, of course, she died, and not of course, but she's gone. So it's more important to have that nice picture. And beside that picture, I always think about, on that specific day I met Tony Hawk.
Nice.
That's cool.
That's my family moment.
That's a big
of
fanboy moment. I mean, it's Tony Hawk.
Yeah, right.
The skater.
Yeah.
I think
First album was great.
Yeah. He's just a skater boy. That's his song, right?
Yeah.
He has quite the high voice and long hair. Well, I think my biggest fanboy moment, and it's not too long ago.
Let me guess. Metal Hammer Awards?
Yeah, right. It's not too long ago. It was 2018. On my birthday in Berlin at the Metal Hammer Awards. We were pulling up there to go on the black carpet to have like photos and stuff and get into the award ceremony, party, whatever stuff. And we were in line for photos, and I looked behind us and I saw Sam Carter, which is who is the vocalist of the band Architects, which is one of my favorite bands. And I was, from this moment on, I was like, I didn't know he was here. It's like the biggest fanboy ever from that moment on.
He might thought the same thing about you.
I'm sure he did. I didn't know he was here, that annoying guy. That annoying guy. And I mean, it was cool just to see him at that point. But a couple of hours into the party, and maybe 2 or 3 glasses of wine into the party.
Let's say at beer o'clock.
At beer o'clock, I saw Sam again with his manager, I think. And I was like talking to Jared. There's Sam Carter again. Should I go up to him? I was
while Jared was thinking about going to this guy of what's that black metal?
You mean Alexi Laiho from
Dimmu Borgir or something?
Dimmu Borgir.
You're right.
To some Dimmu Borgir guy.
Right. So we were both like, oh, should I? And Jared told me, hey, go now. And I was like, no, now go. And I approached Sam Carter with like. I have to say we had makeup on and everything. So I had like my blackout sclera lenses in my eyes and almost full stage makeup. I approached him. I was like, "Yo, Sam Carter, blah 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 blah." Like the typical stuff a fanboy would say. Like, I really like your music and so cool to meet you here, and blah blah blah. And I think, and I'm pretty sure that happened. I was really happy about his reaction because he wasn't just being polite and saying yeah thank you and yeah thank you. We actually had a quick conversation and I'm smiling talking about it because I really liked that moment. And afterwards, I was like, yeah, saying goodbye, because he was asking, I was like, who are you? I was like, yeah, I'm in a band called Lord of the Lost, we're just invited, we're blah, 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 whatever I said. And he's like, oh, okay, cool, what kind of music do you play? It's metal. So, talked just for a bit, and I know that after I met him, I went to you, Chris, and told you about this. But
you told me 3 times.
3 times.
two or 3 times. You told me, very drunk and very happy. I've never seen you smile like that. And like 15 minutes later, you told me again. I just let you because it made you so happy.
Yeah, it made me really happy.
and then you told me again, and then you told me again the next day.
Yeah, it was just.
It was super cute.
It was just a fanboy moment.
Yeah.
A big one for me. Great birthday.
Mm-hmm. I have actually like 2 other small stories.
Yeah.
Which is I'm not sure if I should call them fanboy moment because I would not really consider myself like really as a fan of both bands. Both bands start with a B and they can't be more different. It's Behemoth and the Backstreet Boys, which I both like, but I wouldn't say that I'm a big fan. But first story, 1997, I was working in some kind of skate clothing. We talk a lot about skating these days. In a skate clothing shop, I worked there like beside the school, 1 or 2 days a week to get some extra money. And one day we were told like we have to close the shop from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. because Backstreet Boys are in town playing a concert and they want to buy new sneakers after soundcheck. Okay. We were like, oh yeah, Backstreet Boys are coming.
Nice.
And it was the time where they had like all these like 1997, 1998, all these big like
big hits, yeah.
The great songs, which are actually great songs, which I still like. So there were like lots of salespersons in the shop, salespeople. I was one of them, so I had to sell shoes to Nick Carter. And I was the one
That's so cool.
who should take care of Nick Carter. And I still remember the shoe model, the brand, and the size. It was a very ugly shoe by Nike, called Overglass. Mm-hmm. Which had some sort of weird like plastic thing over the
laces,
which you could like put on. It looks very futuristic.
Oh, God.
Was a total flop, this shoe, but he wanted in size German size 47. And I
He
sold
has big feet, man.
big feet.
It was so big.
And I sold these, 46, but I think 47. And I sold these shoes to Nick Carter, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other
Nice.
band with the B, Behemoth, was 2 years ago, 2018, in summer. Yeah, it's like 2 years ago at a Nine Inch Nails concert in Berlin. And I saw this one guy with like the tattoo on the neck, on the side, and I was like, this guy looks like Naga of Behemoth. I wasn't sure, so I saw the tattoo, so I googled him like and checked like, oh yeah, it totally looks the same. And so after a couple of minutes, I was like, okay, I want a picture with him because I find him a very inspiring person. What all the things he's posting, his fight against cancer, his strength, all his workout stuff, the inspiring things he says. It's a very inspiring person. I might not agree with him on every level about what he says, but I really find him very inspiring. And music is powerful and creative. So I was like, I go there, I want a picture. And I actually experienced the most polite and nice way to turn someone down. Because he told me, hey, thanks for asking, I really appreciate it, but I'm here privately today and I don't want any pictures of myself. So please don't be mad at me. Next time, if it fits, I promise you get your picture, but I can't do it today. I'm very sorry. And it was so nice. And I actually was like, okay, I learned the importance of how important it is if I have to do the same thing to someone who asks me for a photograph or like an autograph or something, how important it is to tell it in a nice way, because sometimes it just doesn't work for you. Sometimes you don't want to make a picture for whatever reason. But it's so important to be nice, not to leave like a good impression for your image and that you sell more CDs or something, but to do not hurt that person. Because I was reminded that it was still hard, even though I'm like super experienced now with this thing, like from the other side, it's still hard to go there and ask. And I'm not even like the biggest Behemoth fan.
Yeah.
So this was I really learned something that day.
Nice.
And he's an impressive guy, and I really liked him. And even if he turned me down, the way he turned me down made me even like him more.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
I'm done.
Do you have another fanboy moment?
I
have another one.
probably, but I'm good.
I have another short one.
Yeah, then do the short one, and then we do a small round of Stadtland backstage.
Hell yeah!
Because we have to quit this thing here in 15 minutes latest.
Okay, then, short one. When we were at the Greenfield Festival in Switzerland in 2017, was it? Yeah, it was 2017 still. When we got there with our nightliner, we parked next to the nightliner of Suicide Silence. I was like, wow, that's the nightliner of Suicide Silence. Got out, and there was the guitar tech restringing the guitar of one of the guitarists. I'm not that big of a fan, I don't even know the guitarist's name. But it was just cool because I listened to Suicide Silence when I was 15, 16. A lot. And when we had our show, I think before us played Pierce the Veil and after us Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Suicide Silence guys were watching Pierce the Veil, and they apparently watched our set as well, because after the show they were still standing side stage and it was coming down, and then there was the guitar player with his long beard and hair of Suicide Silence and the drummer of Pierce the Veil, and they were both like looking at me. That was a nice show, man. And I was on such an adrenaline kick from this show still, and then being confronted with the guitar player of one of my youth bands that was really important for me. I didn't know what to say and didn't say anything. It was like, or maybe I said thanks, went away.
I couldn't care less.
Who are you? No, but that was really cool. And afterwards, our backstage area was next to the backstage area of Mice and Men.
Right.
Yeah.
And we made those weird noises with the empty Coke cans that we drank. Like those alarm noises, and they got on. What the fuck is this? Yeah. And then I don't know. We talked for like half an hour.
I remember. I was there as well. He was
Men.
really nice.
Yeah, and with Austin Pauly, the now lead singer.
Yeah.
And we I don't know. We had some loose contact afterwards over Instagram and stuff. It was just cool.
This totally reminds me of another fanboy moment, like making my son always like kicking a soccer ball into the backstage of Rob Zombie at Maraluna Festival. So John 5 maybe come out and bring the ball back.
And the manager came.
Nice.
This is how you abuse your children for fanboy purposes. Yeah. Dude.
Nice.
Okay, go for a quick round.
Stadtland backstage.
Let's call Nick. Nick 0171 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 666.
985.
Ruf.
Mich. Ruf mich an, du Sau.
What?
Ramses Pyramiden, Hoch- und Tiefbau.
Guten Morgen, Sonnenschein.
Moin.
Einen taufrischen
Hallo
guten
Niklas.
We're having an English podcast today.
Morgen. Oh, alright, good morning.
So we're playing a round of very quick round because we only have like 10 minutes left.
Quickie.
So a quick round of Stadtland backstage. Do you want to start or do you want to be in the middle somewhere?
Somewhere in the middle.
Okay, then I. Okay, P. Then you first. I give a city and a country to P. Let's say Spain. Madrid.
Madrid. Oh yeah. We have been there recently on the Renegade Tour with Equilibrium, and it was one of those days that you really don't want to be on tour because of the club. Because I just give you one example. It was one of those clubs where you have to lock the door with a broken guitar string.
To shit?
To shit, and it is a slide door, so it doesn't even matter if it's there or not. So it wasn't really feeling like a home that it should be for one day. But I also have to say it was one of the few great nights we had, apart from the concerts on that tour, because Klaas, Jared, and I went to a bar or a cafe or something right next to the club, somewhere over the street, something, and we realized their special offer today. Oh, they have tapas and they have a gin and tonic, which we are all a fan of, a good gin and tonic. So after the show, we went there, had food, had a gin and tonic, and I don't know, it was one of those nights where we actually had our first very close moments with the guys of Equilibrium, I think.
I remember I went in that bar for half a minute. It was like, oh, everyone's drunk. I'm leaving.
That was first time in Madrid. Club felt shitty. Show was awesome. After show was very, very cool.
No backstage.
No backstage.
No toilet seats.
Yeah.
But great experience.
Yeah, cold shower, great concert.
True.
And microwave dinner.
Microwave food, yeah. I don't know.
All right, then you could go for Nick or for Klaas.
Nick, do you wanna?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I say Lyon. Lyon says already the country.
France.
France.
Lyon. Lyon was it was the car thing.
Uh-huh.
I woke up because Uwe, the backliner of Equilibrium, was was shouting around in the bus, "What the fuck is going on here?" And I was like, "What?" Because we had a party the night before, of course, like every night. And I went down the stairs in the bus and I saw that the parking slot for the bus was totally parked by other cars. And then the locals or our bus drivers, I don't know who called the what is it?
Police, whatever.
Those super special car remove forces, and they arrived just a few minutes later with I think 5 or 6 trucks, and they started to remove all the cars. That was pretty cool.
Shoot them away with tanks.
That was quite fun.
I don't even remember that because I was still sleeping. Because I'm always the one like to sleep longer on tour, maybe. Funny.
Yeah, I think you were the only one who was in the bus and sleeping, because everyone else was standing around the bus and at the club and filming the whole shit.
Great. Okay, you go for class.
Class.
Yeah.
Let's say. Glasgow, Scotland.
The funny thing is, probably I have a déjà vu, but I think we named almost the same countries last time.
That might be, yeah.
And
yeah, but last time it was Bristol for you.
Yeah, right. I had Bristol last time. Today I have Glasgow.
Next time I take a list with me to try to make it more diverse.
Now it's Bristol.
No,
Glasgow.
Glasgow.
It's both in France.
Yeah. Oh, Glasgow. What was in Glasgow? Let me think. What was the club's name? Glasgow.
But it had also a sticky floor, like Bristol.
Was it the stone floor?
Yeah, it was stone floor.
Was the end of the tour? No, it was
a
the.
green backstage in the basement.
We played this club twice.
Glasgow was parking under the bridge.
Yeah.
Ah.
And with the beautiful city, the beautiful infrastructure.
Yeah, I think it was the first show there.
I think we played there 2 times, but it wasn't the same club.
It was the guy
No,
that,
right, it wasn't
that
the same
stand
club.
in front of us when we just got out for
only
food.
remember.
He said, "Tame." I said, "What? Tame? What? What's tame?" He said, "Oh, he wants to ask what time it is." Tame. I said, "What?"
Oh yeah, I remember. But
What do you mean?
where did we play the other time? We played Glasgow twice.
Yeah, we played at the
Oh,
St.
I-
Ox
I-
and
I-
Patrick's with KMFDM. I remember that vividly because it was an old church that the owner of the diner next to the church bought. And we played in the church.
That one, that was great.
That
was
was
very
That
cool.
was cool.
That was great.
That was cool because they offered us. I mean, yeah, okay. Mix it probably up because they're too. But in general, Glasgow was always cool. Was quite cold that day, or these days. But in the church was nice. They offered us amazing beer, Brewdog, from the tap as well. Since it was the time there was no Brewdog in Germany, but the biggest disappointment was like I ordered a burger. And in Scotland, it's not allowed to have meat like
Medium.
rare or medium. It always has to be well done because of the law. So it's a good place to be vegetarian because if everything is well done, it's so horrible to eat. It's dead for real. The taste as well. And that was horrible, but the church, also to play in that church, was great. Also the the graveyard. The graveyard was necromantic, or something.
Yeah,
And that was
something like that.
great. The one on the hill where there was the big cathedral right next to you. It was such a big, huge, beautiful graveyard. That was so amazing. That was so good. That was amazing.
Okay, last one for me, and then we close the LordCast. After
yeah.
a long time.
Ah, yeah, right. Let me just think.
he's always given me so many good opportunities to make bass player jokes.
Yeah.
Ja, und Nick, wie ist bei dir so?
Heuschnupfen-Scheiße.
Ja, das hört man.
Heuschnupfen-Scheiße.
Hay Fever shit.
Kommt dann Scheiße aus der Nase?
Ja.
Ja. Mit Heu.
Das nennt man Nasenhaare, Nick.
Ich dachte
Genau,
Pferdestall.
ach so. Ja.
No, it's France. No, it's something else. What was the festival's name?
In what country?
Where you had the brain?
Oh yeah, Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Hills of Rock.
Bulgaria. Oh no, can I say Hills of Rock or do I have to say the name? Was it Plovdiv? No, Plovdiv.
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 Bulgaria Hills Rock. Yeah, I remember one thing there. We played somewhere in the afternoon, and then were like 2 other bands, and then there was White Snake playing.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hey.
And of course, White Snake has been a big band, and I'm not meaning
Not
to
that big.
I'm not meaning to disrespect anyone here, but I'm just reacting. So, at the 10 minutes before the end of their show, I wanted to go to the backstage toilets because I really needed to pee, and then there were securities stopping me going to the toilets. I was like, why can't I go to the toilets? Yeah, because White Snake are coming off stage in 10 minutes. I was like, yeah, so what? Yeah, they don't want anyone backstage then. I was like, yeah, it's still 10 minutes, and apart from that, that's bullshit. So, okay, then I go to catering. Catering, not as well. So I discussed with the securities. Bottom line was, Whitesnake said that no other musician from whatever band was playing there at that day wasn't allowed 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after the show, and in the meantime 10 minutes before the end of their show and 10 minutes after the end of the show was allowed in the backstage area, the catering, the toilets, because they needed to go off stage into the limousine and didn't want to be disturbed by any other musicians. And this kind of reminded me about one thing, however big we get, let's not do this ever to anyone.
That's asshole behavior.
Because it felt so shitty. You can't go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Because one other guy will be coming off stage in 10 minutes and you're not allowed to go near him. Dude, I just wanted to pee.
That's some small dick energy.
That's it. For today, I guess.
I think so. That was a nice, funny / serious.
Nick is already talking with a baby voice here.
I'm running away from it, but it's following me.
Yeah.
Family problems.
Running away from them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. It was serious in a way somewhere.
Very important.
In the middle. And thank you. Nick, last words for you. Bye.